If you are over 60 and you still feel a little uneasy every time you crack open an egg, you're not alone. I see this hesitation every week in my clinic. Smart, health-conscious women who have spent decades trying to do the right thing, yet they still pause and think, is this safe for me? Every single day. And here is the uncomfortable truth I want to say right away. That fear was planted years ago by outdated science, and it has quietly followed you into your kitchen. I am Dr. Lily Stones. I have spent over 30 years helping women in their 50s, 60s, and 70s protect their heart, their metabolism, their bones, and their confidence through evidence-based nutrition. And today we are going to clear up one of the most confusing food debates of your lifetime. Because eggs are not just food. They are an identity marker. Women who eat eggs with confidence tend to feel stronger, steadier, and more in control of their health. Women who fear them often feel restricted, confused, and quietly worried they might be doing something wrong. And if you are still watching right now, that already tells me something about you. You are not following old rules blindly anymore. You want clarity, not fear. Before we go further, take a moment and tell me where you are watching from. Are you here in the United States, maybe Florida, Texas, California, New York? Or are you watching from another part of the world, Canada, the UK, Australia, Europe? I love seeing how global this community of women over 60 has become. Now, let me open a loop that may surprise you. The reason eggs became dangerous in your mind has almost nothing to do with eggs themselves. In the 1960s, 70s, and 80s, most nutrition studies made one critical mistake. They never studied eggs alone. Eggs were lumped together with bacon, white toast, sugar, loaded pancakes, margarine, and processed oils. The entire breakfast was blamed, and the egg took the fall. That confusion stuck. Doctors repeated it. Media amplified it. And women like you paid the price by cutting out one of the most nourishing foods available. But modern research changed everything. Today's data is cleaner, more precise, and much more honest. When eggs are studied on their own, especially in older adults, the picture looks very different. Eggs consistently show up as one of the most nutrient-dense and metabolically supportive foods you can eat. And for most women over 60, eating eggs regularly is not only safe, it can be protective. But before we talk numbers, how many eggs per day, we need to fix another deception most people never question. The egg carton illusion. Walk down any grocery aisle and you are flooded with labels. Cage-free, free-range, vegetarian-fed, natural, omega-3, organic. It looks reassuring, but much of it is marketing noise. Cage-free does not mean free to roam. Free-range can legally mean a tiny concrete patch. Vegetarian-fed sounds healthy until you realize chickens are not vegetarians. They are meant to eat insects, bugs, and forage naturally. This is where women who value long-term health separate themselves from the crowd. The highest quality choice is pasture-raised, preferably organic. These eggs come from hens that live on grass, eat their natural diet, and produce eggs with more vitamin A, vitamin E, omega-3s, choline, clears throat, lutein, zeaxanthin, zinc, selenium, and even vitamin K2. They are not the same food. And here is the identity moment I want you to notice. Women who choose quality over fear are not being extreme. They are being informed. In the next part, I am going to explain why eggs are considered one of nature's most complete nutritional tools, and we will address the cholesterol myth that frightened an entire generation of women. This is where things get very interesting. Now, let me shift gears because this is where most women over 60 start to feel something click. Eggs are not powerful because of one single nutrient. They are powerful because of how many systems they support at the same time. Think of your body at this stage of life. Muscle naturally declines. Brain chemistry becomes more sensitive. Hormones fluctuate differently. Inflammation becomes easier to trigger and harder to calm. You do not need more food, you need smarter food. That is where eggs quietly rise to the top of the ranking. A single egg delivers complete protein. Not partial, not fragmented, complete. Every essential amino acid your body needs to maintain muscle repair tissue and stabilize blood sugar is already there in the correct ratio. This matters more after 60 than it ever did before. Age-related muscle loss is not cosmetic. It affects balance, strength, metabolism, and independence. Eggs are one of the easiest proteins for older adults to digest and actually use. Your body does not have to work overtime to break them down. Now add fats that support hormones and cell membranes. Add fat-soluble vitamins A, D, and K that your bones, brain, and immune system rely on. Add minerals like selenium and zinc that quietly support thyroid function and immune resilience. But there is one nutrient I want you to remember because it changes how women feel day to day. Choline. Most women are deficient in choline and do not know it. Choline supports memory, focus, mood, nerve, signaling liver health, and communication between your brain and muscles. Eggs are one of the richest natural sources of it. This is why many women tell me they feel clearer, more stable, and more satisfied when eggs become a regular part of their meals. And here is the ranking truth that often surprises people. The nutrients in eggs are highly bioavailable. That means your body absorbs and uses them more efficiently than nutrients from many plant sources or fortified foods. It is not just what is on the label, it is what actually gets into your cells. Now, we need to address the subject that scared a generation of women away from eggs: cholesterol. This is where outdated fear did real damage. For decades, women were told that dietary cholesterol directly translated into heart disease. That message was repeated so often, it became unquestioned truth. But modern science tells a very different story. Your liver produces roughly 3,000 milligrams of cholesterol every single day. It does this whether you eat cholesterol or not. When cholesterol comes in from food, your liver simply makes less. When you eat very little, your liver makes more. This feedback system is built into your biology. For the majority of people, dietary cholesterol has little to no impact on blood cholesterol levels. What actually drives harmful LDL changes are sugar-refined carbohydrates, chronic inflammation, oxidized oils, and stress. Eggs were blamed for a fire they did not start. Cholesterol itself is not the enemy. It is a repair molecule. Your body uses it to build cell membranes, produce hormones, create vitamin D, digest fats, and heal damaged tissue. So when cholesterol shows up in areas of damage, it is responding to injury, not causing it. This is a major identity shift. Women who understand this stop fearing nourishing foods and start focusing on what truly protects their heart long term. Now we move into the ranking that most people are waiting for. How many eggs can you safely eat per day? There is no single number for everyone because your body context matters. But research gives us strong ranges. For most healthy adults, 2 to 3 eggs per day consistently show no increased risk and often show benefits, especially when eaten as part of a whole foods diet. For older adults, this range is especially meaningful. 2 to 3 eggs per day can support muscle retention, energy, and satiety without raising blood sugar. For women who are metabolically healthy with stable labs and low inflammation intake can often go higher without issue. For women managing insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes, eggs are uniquely helpful because they contain virtually no carbohydrates and help stabilize glucose. This is why blanket limits never worked. Your body is not average, it is specific. In the next part, I am going to break this down person by person. Who can comfortably eat more? Who should start slower? And why the way you cook eggs may matter just as much as how many you eat. This is where you begin using eggs as a tool instead of treating them like a risk. Now we get practical because this is where clarity replaces confusion. Instead of asking a vague question like, "Are eggs good or bad?" we rank egg intake based on who you are and how your body functions today. This is how confident women make decisions without fear. Let me walk you through this clearly. If you are a generally healthy adult woman over 60, no diabetes, no major inflammation issues, stable labs, your sweet spot is usually 2 to 3 eggs per day. This amount consistently shows benefits for muscle support, fullness, steady energy, and nutrient intake. Many women feel more satisfied and less snack-driven when eggs are part of their routine. If you are active or rebuilding strength, maybe you walk daily, do light strength training, or are intentionally protecting muscle, 3 to 4 eggs per day can be extremely supportive. Your body becomes less efficient at using protein with age. Eggs solve that problem quietly and efficiently. If you are dealing with insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes, eggs are not the enemy. In fact, they can be a stabilizer. Eggs do not spike blood sugar. Starting with 1 to 2 eggs per day is safe for most women in this group. If your overall diet is low in refined carbohydrates and added sugars, 3 eggs per day is often well tolerated and helpful for appetite control. If your cholesterol numbers have worried you in the past, this is where most women feel anxious. Here is the grounded truth. For the majority of women, 1 to 2 eggs per day does not increase heart risk. And again, the priority is not cutting eggs. The priority is reducing sugar, ultra-processed foods, and inflammatory oils that damage blood vessels in the first place. Older adults deserve special mention. After 60 sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle becomes a real health risk. Eggs are one of the easiest ways to deliver high-quality protein without heavy digestion. 1 to 2 eggs daily can make a meaningful difference in strength balance and independence over time. And yes, you may have heard about people eating 6, 8, even 10 eggs per day and doing well. That does happen, especially in low-sugar, whole foods diets. But that is not a starting point. That is a context-dependent choice made by people who have eliminated the true drivers of metabolic damage. This is not about copying extremes. It is about finding your lane. Now, we need to talk about who should slow down and be more intentional. If you have a confirmed egg allergy, eggs are obviously not appropriate. If you have a rare genetic condition like familial hypercholesterolemia, your cholesterol regulation works differently and you need personalized medical guidance. If you have had your gallbladder removed or struggle with fat digestion, start with 1 egg per day and build slowly. If you are sensitive to histamines, eggs should be cooked fresh and not reheated. Caution is not fear, it is awareness. Now, let me say something that many women overlook. How you cook eggs matters just as much as how many you eat. High heat damages delicate fats and oxidizes cholesterol. This changes how your body responds to the food. The healthiest methods are gentle, soft-boiled, hard-boiled, poached, over-easy, scrambled slowly on low heat. Use butter or olive oil, not vegetable or seed oils. A soft golden yolk is a sign of nourishment, not danger. Burnt browned eggs cooked in harsh oils are not the same food. This is another quiet identity shift. Women who cook gently are not being picky. They are being biologically intelligent. In the next part, I am going to give you simple daily egg strategies based on your goal: energy, weight, stability, muscle protection, focus, and longevity. This is where eggs stop being a question and start becoming a tool you can use with confidence. Now, I want you to picture something with me because this is where information turns into lived experience. A few years ago, a woman in her late 60s sat across from me in my office. She had done everything she thought was right for decades. Low fat, egg whites, only cereal for breakfast, light toast. She was disciplined, careful, and constantly tired. Her words to me were simple and honest. "I feel like I'm shrinking. My strength is fading. My focus isn't what it used to be, and I'm always hungry an hour after I eat." Nothing was wrong with her willpower. Her body was undernourished. We slowly reintroduced whole eggs, not in excess, not recklessly. 1 egg at first, then 2, paired with vegetables, cooked gently. Within weeks, she noticed something subtle but important. She stayed full longer. Her energy stopped crashing mid-morning. Her balance felt steadier. Her confidence around food returned. This is not about eggs magically fixing everything. It is about giving your body signals it recognizes. After 60, your body is no longer asking for restriction. It is asking for support. Eggs provide signals of safety. Enough protein, enough fat, enough micronutrients, enough building blocks to maintain what you have worked a lifetime to build. This is why daily egg intake often leads to unexpected changes. Fewer cravings, more stable moods, less grazing, better morning energy. Now let me give you simple daily frameworks so you can apply this without overthinking. If your goal is steady weight and appetite control, 2 to 3 eggs with vegetables is one of the most effective breakfasts you can eat. It stabilizes insulin and reduces the urge to snack later. If your goal is muscle protection and strength, 3 to 4 eggs paired with a whole food carbohydrate like potatoes or fruit can support recovery and preserve lean tissue. If your goal is focus and mental clarity, 2 to 3 eggs with avocado or olive oil support choline intake and brain signaling. If you are a senior prioritizing longevity and independence, 1 to 2 eggs with greens is a gentle but powerful daily foundation. If mornings are rushed, 2 boiled eggs with fruit can carry you much farther than cereal or toast ever will. Notice the pattern. Eggs are not the entire meal, they are the anchor. This is how women who age well think about food. Not in extremes, not in fear, in function. And here is an important identity moment I want to lock in. Women who thrive after 60 are not eating less food. They are eating more intentional food. Eggs are part of that identity, not because they are trendy, but because they quietly solve multiple problems at once. In the final part, I am going to bring this together and help you decide exactly where you fit, who should feel confident, who should be cautious, and how to move forward without second-guessing yourself every time you open the refrigerator. This is where certainty replaces doubt. Let me bring everything together calmly and clearly, because this is where confidence replaces hesitation. If there is one message I want you to walk away with today, it is this. Eggs were never the problem. Confusion was for most women. Over 60 eggs are one of the safest, most supportive foods you can include regularly. They provide protein your muscles can actually use, fats your hormones recognize, nutrients your brain and nerves depend on, and they do it without spiking blood sugar or overloading digestion. 2 to 3 eggs per day is a solid evidence-based range for most healthy women. 1 to 2 eggs per day is an excellent starting point if you are cautious managing cholesterol concerns or rebuilding digestion. More than that can be appropriate in specific contexts, but it is not required to see benefits. This is not about chasing numbers. It is about listening to your body's response. Pay attention to how you feel after eating eggs. Your fullness, your energy, your clarity, your cravings. These signals matter more than old headlines ever did. There are only a few groups who should move more carefully. Women with true egg allergies, women with rare genetic lipid disorders, women with significant fat digestion challenges who need to build slowly. In those cases, personalized guidance matters. For everyone else, eggs can be a steady ally. And I want to speak directly to something deeper here. Many women your age were taught that aging meant restriction. Less food, less strength, less confidence, less enjoyment. But the women who age the strongest are not living smaller lives. They are nourishing their bodies with intention and respect. Choosing to eat eggs without fear is not about rebellion. It is about self-trust. When you understand the science, you stop outsourcing your decisions to outdated advice. You become calm, steady, and grounded in your choices. That is the identity shift that supports healthy aging more than any single food ever could. Now that you know how many eggs you can safely eat per day, the natural next question is this. What actually happens inside your body when eggs become a daily habit? That is exactly what we will explore next. The effects on your brain, your metabolism, your muscle, and even hormone signaling that most people never talk about. If you found this helpful, stay with this channel. This is where we replace fear with clarity and help women over 60 age with strength and confidence. And before we close, let me remind you this video is for educational purposes only. It does not replace medical advice. Every woman's body is unique. If you are experiencing pain, significant changes, or have personal concerns, please consult with your healthcare provider. Your well-being deserves personalized care.